audible? Halo, am I audible? Am I audible?
Udah sekali aja Zul.
Oke. Udah lama gak datang ke acara argumen. So happy di invite. Oke. Ya, oke. Aku akan gunain F word banyak banget. Jadi so sorry for your ears. And ya.
I wanna merekam. Boleh pakai F word. Apa itu?
You're not sorry if you already want to say that.
Yeah. In 3, 2, 1. Romantic doesn't always be that kind of love where you need to put higher standards, but it does involve emotion to something. What best scenario from government is to convince us that we have a lot of things to gain after we do have that commitment, associated norms, and expectation. These three things is fucking annoying. Let me tell you the prerequisites that may hamper the realization of these bitches in these spirit things. First thing to say, commitment. It is a big word for marriage though, but for someone who just want to rejoice for relationship, it is a big burden to get for a few reasons. Firstly, the entities have different goals and common sense. Even for the man, when they do not imply your chat in any moment that they want, for specifically for these girls or boys to get frustrated or get anxious, you become angry with the situations. You just don't get the word realization that becomes beyond your commitment. Let's say you made a fucking part of agreement within the process. Like you have to text me anything when you go somewhere else. This fucking agreement only hamper the feeling of this one entity in relationship. Do not make happiness in other side. See, when you are mad because he or she do not contact your needs, that's the fucking context that I will give you several context. The reason why we are not fucking worried about the commitment with our parents, because they do not even care about this shit. They do not even care about you text or something become something. Our parents do not need our commitment on something to text faster or not, because the kind of relationship just demand who you are in this world. Just take it easy for commit some bullshit. It is not necessarily saying you have somebody or which industry. Secondly, let's talk about norms. The reason why we are fucking anxious or fucking fascinated on doing serious relationship is just because we don't fit into our certain scenario that our partner might ask for. The reason for this is, for example, we don't get why we have to do something like we have to put a fucking online game just because they are, let's say, for example, we don't have to think about that way, because we know to make ourselves happy, to be fine with ourselves. So make this and then love is fucking people. It is the problematic side. Their intention to understand with each other normity is something beyond of the reason, because they don't even know what they're going through, right? Just to understand the feeling is hard. People to understand they have to sometimes just do some kind of man to your partner in a way. It is fucking sickening. Don't fucking do it. Another reason, we just want to control what we can control. The rest happiness is on the control. When you can control that kind of control someone which you love, not just on giving some kind of energy that just need to do that. But again, your eye. Okay, 2, 1. No engagement. Third, let's talk about expectation. In your side, the good scenario that you have is to have this kind of feeling that you have that kind of even opposite itself. If we talk about this, when you have your hubby or your husband to call you sayang, but she feels she doesn't for her, it is bad for the man. He wonders his mind. He wonders the feeling. He feels she doesn't love the way he does. The spirit mind control is beyond of them. It is natural for them in vice versa. Comparatively, in our side, what is the practical outcomes from our situations? Here's some the rebuttal for operating government. Firstly, commitment is still exists in our side, because you know when you are ready emotionally, stability and readiness comes themselves. To discuss ready to do not give too much prerequisite to comes by your side in very first place. Secondly, we don't say anything about commitment is bad or whatsoever, but we're saying that normalization will help you put rational choice on directing your choice or criteria on selecting a good partner, or even directing way of loving someone. Two claims do the process only works on someone who do think that situationship is exists eventually. The reason why my dad is still loving my mom is just because he accepted the form, do not necessarily loving her that much as the very first time they met. But the reason the marriage is still standing, because my dad knows that putting within himself, or even putting greater commitment, living like giving better wardah or even better skincare for her is dangerous, since my dad may do not have that capability to afford it, right? So this is the things that comes into the many families who feel poorer in our sides. Secondly, our claims on why people could not be happy just because they do not put that bigger commitment. It is our trade-off, but at least in our side, we just have that kind of rationale to think if this relationship do not last, or like do not long last because of this, then you have to be better as human, right? Because you have that kind of like reconciliation within yourselves. Okay, we are bad yesterday, we have to be better tomorrow. The reason why many families stand, not because of the committed stands, but because they know they don't have to fulfill something bigger that they can achieve. Hence, the material that they have, or even the social status that it. The characteristic of true love is still exists in our side, because we know while we find our true ones who respect us, who love us, or even good skufu, for example, skufu means that you are at same categorically in economic, they eventually will have good relationship, will have that kind of normalization. Consider that, is it the skufu one, or even the materials that you have that you can bring the happiness upon each other's side. The outcome is simple. You will still be happy if you don't disgrace your partner, or even you do not even need to do begging for the love. The narrative is not getting hit or touched by OG, because they know the begging for love exists for someone who rejects this kind of normalization. For the people who only realize someone to fulfill your happiness. On our side, the stagnancy is not happening, because we know relationship we will still have that fucking dinner, we will still have that intercourse, but partner might just can be dead tomorrow, right? That's why the partner kind of happy investment for them so-called romantic. We just limit ourselves to do not do too much on something. Thirdly, in our side, portion and session is not fucking exclusive, since the man and woman knows what to tell and what to say to make themselves better. Let's say the partnership or relationship, these men and women know what they to do, right? Know enough that it's normal to have in our side. Not everything is. We know in romantic love, we know even the feeling is temporary, but the efficiency in our side is of choice. We will have the better choice to accept the flaws in relationship with better vision and better choices, since we are going to use logic and some kind of low expectation to have in every purpose place. Here's the prerequisite. You cannot have better logic if you high standard expectation that you cannot have in the purpose place. We want this heartbreak for better recovery. Let's say how many counterproductive things that men and women had done. Here's the thing. Here's the last story. Enu Nugraha, ITB graduates. He fell, become crazy man because Sri left him, but no reason, because Sri is dead. Then Enu cannot recover because he thinks that his only true love is Sri. This situation is not comes into our set, because Enu in our set at least can rejoice, can recall, can have that rational things to be better in the man for the future. Inonograha is the real story. I'm not ruining fake matters, but the reflection is under our side. Enu at least have the conscience to move on with his love, just because he do have the skills. He have the risk that another woman like Sri will come again or the future, or even better women appear to his life. Okay, this kind of trajectory is tragic. Men only had first love, but we choose to have another love, third love, fourth love, fifth love, proud to oppose.